Have you ever pondered what aspects significantly influence an employee's decision to part ways with a company? This complex question is what we'll unravel today, diving into the world of employee separations. We begin by unpacking the concepts of employee relations and engagement. Employee relations involve fostering positive bonds between employers and employees to boost productivity, morale, and foster a harmonious environment. This includes developing fair treatment programs and improving communication and recognition strategies. A good example of this can be seen in the case of Linda, a software engineer at Tech Solutions. Linda was constantly encouraged and treated with fairness by her managers. When the company faced a challenge, the management initiated a fair treatment program and a predictable disciplinary procedure. This gave Linda the confidence to give her best, knowing that her efforts would be recognized and any issues dealt with fairly. On the other hand, employee engagement refers to a fulfilling work-related state of mind characterized by vigor, dedication, absorption. There are different types of engagement, such as personal role engagement, multidimensional engagement, and work tasks or job engagement. For instance, Emily, a project manager at a leading construction firm, is a vivid representation of this concept. She was deeply absorbed in her work, showing a high level of personal engagement and dedication. This was largely due to the company's efforts to enhance relations through improved communication and recognition programs, which made Emily feel valued and led to her giving her best at every task. Now, let's delve into the concept of organizational justice. This refers to the perceived fairness in decision outcomes. For instance, a company may decide to lay off some employees due to a financial crisis. If this decision is based on performance metrics and not on personal biases, the laid-off employees may perceive this as a fair outcome. Next, we have the decision-making processes. As an example, imagine a situation where a team manager includes everyone's opinion in the decision of selecting a new project. This collective decision-making process portrays organizational justice, as every team member has a say. Lastly, organizational justice also encompasses interpersonal interactions. An apt example would be a supervisor treating all subordinates with respect and without any favoritism. This kind of equal and respectful interaction increases the sense of fairness in the organization. Next, our journey leads us to delve into the subject of voluntary turnover. This sphere is intricate, given managerial control often has its restrictions. The cause is wide-ranging, from personal goals to work-life balance and faith in leadership. Take, for instance, an employee who chose to resign from a high-paying job to pursue her passion for photography, an instance of personal goals driving voluntary turnover. Nevertheless, it's essential to remember that not all turnover leads to negative consequences. Functional turnover can be a blessing for an organization by maintaining high performers. For example, a company may experience functional turnover when a poorly performing employee decides to leave, allowing a more competent worker to fill their position and increase overall productivity. On the flip side, dysfunctional turnover can inflict the reverse impact. Take the case where a pivotal team member, a top performer, left a startup for better prospects. The startup struggled with the sudden gap, showing how dysfunctional turnover can negatively affect an organization. Involuntary turnover can occur due to various factors. For instance, poor job performance is a common cause. Imagine an employee consistently not meeting targets or underperforming. This can lead the organization to decide on involuntary turnover. Economic pressures are another catalyst. For example, during a recession, a company may need to downsize, resulting in involuntary turnover. Strategic changes within the organization can also lead to this. For instance, if a company decides to automate certain tasks, employees currently performing those tasks may face involuntary turnover. Ensuring fair discipline is a key element to consider in these circumstances. For instance, a company might have to let go of an employee due to consistent tardiness, despite warnings. Providing reasonable notice is another critical facet. For example, an employee should be given sufficient time to prepare for job loss and seek new opportunities. Lastly, avoiding constructive dismissal is crucial. A scenario here could be a company changing employee roles drastically, forcing them to quit, which is a form of involuntary turnover and should be avoided. Next up, we'll delve into the concept of managing termination interviews and avoiding wrongful dismissal suits. Let's discuss termination interviews first. These need to be conducted with clear communication, careful planning, and preparation for a range of reactions. Instance: consider the scenario where a manager had to let go of an employee due to budget cuts. The manager prepared for the meeting by rehearsing what he would say and how he would respond to different reactions from the employee. This approach made the process smoother and less stressful for both parties. Now let's examine wrongful dismissal. This occurs when termination contravenes the law or an employment contract. To dodge this, maintain clear documentation and consistent policy application. Take the case of a large corporation that faced a wrongful dismissal suit. The company was able to successfully defend itself because it had consistently applied its termination policy and had meticulously documented the reasons for the employee's dismissal, which proved to be within the bounds of the law and the employment contract. In conclusion, understanding employee separations is a key aspect of human resources management. For instance, a company known as Zappos effectively manages employee separations through its unique quit incentive. Zappos offers their new employees a cash incentive to quit. This helps them to identify who is really committed to the company. It's about fostering employee relations and engagement. A perfect example of this is Google. With its comprehensive exit interview process, Google ensures that departing employees feel valued and respected, thereby maintaining positive relationships. Next is understanding the reasons behind voluntary and involuntary turnover. For instance, consider the case of IBM. They conduct frequent employee surveys to identify any signs of discontentment or potential reasons for turnover. This way can address issues proactively and prevent excessive turnover. Finally, managing the process of separation in a fair and just manner is of utmost importance. Starbucks is a good example here. When they had to undergo mass layoffs in 2008, they offered outplacement services, severance packages, and job counseling to their affected employees, demonstrating a fair and considerate approach to the unfortunate separations. This knowledge is just essential for HR professionals, but for anyone who aspires to lead and manage teams effectively in today's dynamic work environment. For instance, Steve Jobs, a leader known for building Apple into an outstanding example of an innovative development company, always emphasized the importance of understanding why people leave in order to create a better work environment that encourages retention of top talent and creative thinkers. Terminations are costly, and sometimes they are unavoidable. But handled properly, showing the departing employee respect and compassion ultimately better serves the long-term benefits of the company, its employees, and at the end of the day, its clients and customers.